Hi everyone, my name is Jaitni and I am a mindset and nutrition coach. I help clients cope with stress, depression, or anxiety through healthy habit formation, lifestyle changes, and proper nutrition. Every week I drop a wellness related video, so if wellness interests you or intrigues you, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I also send out self-care and self-love blogs and reminders. So if that's something that interests you more, then please make sure to sign up for my blog. The link is in the description below. And lastly, you can follow me on Instagram at Imperfect Bodies by C Modi, where I also share some of these reminders and tips related to your wellness. So this week's topic for the video is the connection between your diet and your mental health. So believe it or not, everything you consume, whether that's a beverage or whether that's a food item or any kind of drink, whatever you are consuming has a direct impact on your mental health. And when I say mental health, I'm not just talking about mental health disorders, whether it's depression or anxiety or any of that. Even the mood swings that you may experience or mood changes, whether it's experiencing anger or sadness or just having mood changes, all of that is directly impacted by the food you eat and by the beverages you consume. So there is, in fact, a direct link between your gut, which is your stomach area, and your brain. The longest running nerve in your body is between those two parts of your body. So what you eat really impacts how you feel and how you think. And how you think and how you feel is also what determines what you eat. So it is a loop, it's a feedback cycle that's there. And in order for one to work well, the other one also has to work well. So that's why the video really focuses on 5 do's and don'ts that you can try to make sure that what you're consuming really has a positive impact on your mental health. Again, when I say mental health, it's about your stress levels, it's about your anger management, it's about your mood swings, as well as mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, BPD, all of that. So what you eat has a huge impact on it. In fact, there is an emerging field of nutritional psychiatry that heavily focuses on that as well. So this is something that's kind of new. The research is ongoing, but you can be your very own guinea pig. Give yourself 2 weeks of these do's and don'ts, and I promise you, you will see a world of a difference in the way you think and how you feel. So the first do's and don'ts, first one is do eat your fruits and veggies and don't eat as much of processed food. So what you'll notice throughout the video is I'm not going to tell you to not consume junk food at all whatsoever, because I know that's hard to do and that's kind of impossible. So when I say don't eat as much processed food, I'm really saying, limit the consumption, or at least be mindful of when you're eating it. If you have to eat it, or if you really enjoy it, or it provides you comfort, do so in moderation. And when you eat your fruits and veggies, really, you don't need to complicate it. You don't need to worry about which vitamin you're getting from which vegetable, which fruit has less sugar, or no, just go back to basics. Eat what is in season, eat what is locally available. Don't need to worry about what's organic, what's non-GMO. The simpler you keep it, the easier you'll be able to develop the habit. And when you're eating these fruits and veggies, really think about a rainbow. Instead of having the same veggies and the same fruits over and over again, start to have a variety. Kind of test your palate, see what you really enjoy, see what you like, experience the different tastes, the texture, the smells, all of that. So when you sit down and you have your plate, your dinner plate or your lunch plate, you want to make sure you have a rainbow of these fruits and veggies. And when it comes to processed food, try and limit it as much as possible. What is processed food? It's basically food that's packaged, and it's not in its natural state. And that is what I mean by processed food. So that is something that you want to have in moderation. You want to really replace it with fresh fruits and fresh veggies. Now make your life easy. If you don't have time to chop up the fruits and veggies, or you don't have time to go, shopping for fresh fruit, that's okay. There is the frozen section, which is just as fine. So get your frozen veggies, your frozen fruit from there and enjoy it that way if you have to, because every little bit counts. Even having some of that is better than opting for a bag of chips. So think of it that way. Always choose the lesser of two evils. So that's a do's and don'ts number one. Do eat your fruits and veggies. Don't eat as much of processed food. Okay, number two is do eat your meals at regular intervals and don't skip your meals. Sometimes when you're really stressed and you're so busy with work and everything that you need to get done in a day, it's so easy to put food on the back burner. So easy to have lunch at 5 p.m. instead of when you're supposed to have lunch. It's so easy to just walk out the door and not even think about breakfast. That's the worst thing you can do. So do eat your meals. In fact, if you can, enjoy those meals with your loved ones or even your colleagues. Just, sharing a meal with other people can enhance the entire experience. If you live by yourself and you work from home, I know that can be hard, but even going out once a week, whether you're going to a restaurant with friends or you're meeting family, try to do that because a shared meal can have a very positive effect on the food choices that you make as well as your mental health. So don't skip your meals. What happens is when you do that, it can really make you cranky, moody, hangry. That's how I get. And it can make you lethargic. It can lead to brain fog, a lot of things, not to mention the overeating that might occur when you do finally sit down for a meal or the poor food choices that you may make throughout the day. It gets easier to have that Cinnabon when you haven't had a chance to have your breakfast or your lunch. It gets easier just to have, coffee and a bagel instead of having a salad or a healthier meal because you haven't had your regular meals throughout the day. So make sure you are eating at regular intervals and you are not skipping your meals. Number three is do incorporate probiotics and prebiotics into your diet and don't consume as much alcohol. In fact, limit it or completely eliminate it if you can. So I'll go with the easier part of this one right here. Alcohol serves no purpose for your body. In fact, it might temporarily, give you a boost and it might feel good, but in the long term, it can have very detrimental effects, not just to your body, but also to your mental health. It can lead to depression, to anxiety, through a lot of mental health struggles, and it pretty much destroys your gut. Alcohol is the worst kind of poison for your gut. So that's why I say don't consume as much alcohol. If you do, really cut back. And if you can, eliminate it completely. Now going back to the positive, do incorporate probiotics and prebiotics. What are these two? This is basically food for the good bacteria in your body. So probiotics are the good bacteria. That's what you want in your gut. So the quality and the quantity of bacteria in your gut will really determine how healthy you are. And that in turn will determine the kind of chemicals that your brain is releasing. So the more variety and the better bacteria you have in your gut, the better you feel mentally and emotionally. So probiotics are the good bacteria. Prebiotics are the healthy food that the good bacteria need to consume in your gut. So some examples of probiotics, prebiotics are fermented foods. So that's yogurt, there's kefir, there's kombucha. There's also other foods like asparagus, artichokes. These are all great options, onion, garlic. These are all examples of probiotics and prebiotics. Make these a regular part of your diet. If you're really trying to cut back on alcohol, a good option is fermented tea, which is kombucha. That's a great option right there. Instead of going for some kind of packaged food or a packaged drink or soda, you can try some yogurt. You can even try Greek yogurt. So fermented foods really can be your go-to when it comes to the probiotics and the prebiotics, and I also gave you some other examples, but do incorporate them because that is what's going to help with your gut and the health of your gut, which is absolutely imperative to the health of your mind as well as your heart. Number 4 is make sure that you do eat lean protein and you limit the amount of sugar consumption. So when I talk about sugar, I know there's sugar in some dry fruit. I know there's sugar in fruit. Also, some things just have natural sugar, which is okay. When I say limit your sugar consumption, I'm really talking about the processed sugar, that you find in soda, in candy, in cookies, those kind of foods. So that is what you want to really start to limit and really cut back on. And remember to incorporate lean protein into your diet. In fact, you should always have a little bit of protein at every meal, whether that's lunch or dinner or breakfast. It has a lot of advantages, which I won't get into the details in this video, but protein, they're the building blocks of your body and your brain. So if you don't have the building blocks, if you're not able to develop and maintain those cells and those muscles in your body, how do you expect your brain to function? It's not going to. So you need to add lean protein to your diet. If you're a vegetarian, like I am, lentils are a great way to go. If you do eat meat, there are a lot of other options for you. Just make sure it is lean protein and not really the fatty protein that you get out there. So that is something that you want to keep in mind too, is to incorporate protein into your diet and really limit the sugar that you're eating. And then the last one, number 5, is do eat your carbs, but and do limit also your caffeine consumption. Don't have too much caffeine. So carbs, for some reason, just get a bad rap. I don't know why, but not all carbs are equal. Not all carbs are bad. Do eat your carbs. You need that. The carbs give you energy. Without that energy, without that sustenance, how do you expect your body to function? And if your body is not functioning, your brain is not functioning. Everything is interconnected. So do eat the healthy carbs. That can be your whole grains. That could be, like I said earlier, fruits and vegetables. There's carbs in pretty much everything. You just have to make sure they're healthy carbs and not necessarily carbs coming from a bag of chips or cookies. So anything processed may not necessarily be the best option. So try to go for something that's natural and that's whole. So do eat your carbs. Don't drink as much caffeine. It gets very easy to skip meals and turn to caffeine to keep us going, to fill us up. It's one of the worst things you can do. It's not something that's necessarily going to give you energy. It's not sustainable. And not to mention all the ripple effect that it can have on your body, whether it's ulcers, acidity, whether it's, while having a cup of coffee, you might be tempted to have a donut or something sweet. If you're having coffee at Starbucks, you're getting, everything mixed in, whatever it is, whether it's some kind of latte or cappuccino, whatever it is, there are other ingredients that are going in there and they aren't necessarily the best ingredients for your body. So limit that caffeine consumption, start to have smaller glasses of whatever caffeine you're having, whether it's tea or coffee, and start to have a light snack with it instead, and try not to be on an empty stomach for too long, because at that point what happens is you turn to caffeine to fill you up. So limit that caffeine consumption, but do enjoy your carbs, especially the healthy carbs. So everything I shared, I tried not to get into the specifics, but if you do have specific questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to answer them. These are just ways that you can start to get into a routine and start to make some healthier choices for your body. The more informed you are and the more aware you are, sometimes the easier it gets to develop these habits. Doing all of this at once can be overwhelming, so pick one, whether it's just trying to add probiotics and prebiotics on a daily basis, or whether it's trying to limit your alcohol consumption or limit your caffeine consumption, or whether it's not skipping any meals. Whatever it is, pick one that's going to work for you. Try it for a couple of weeks, see how it works, and then start to add another layer to it and another tip to it. And that's how you start to build your habits. Just remember, please, that food is not a substitute for professional help if you do have some pretty deep mental health struggles. So if it is something that's consistent, if you've been feeling certain symptoms for a while, there is no harm in seeking professional help. Get the help that you need. Turn to the people who know what they're doing, and get the help, because there's no shame in that. But just remember, when it comes to your diet, it can make a huge difference. So even if you are on antidepressants or if you are taking certain medication, your lifestyle plays a role as well. And a big part of your lifestyle is what you consume. So that's where your diet plays a role. That's where the diet comes into effect, and that's where it really makes a huge difference. So there is a very direct correlation between what you eat, what you drink and how you feel mentally and emotionally. So thank you as always for stopping by and for watching the video. I will catch you here next week. In the meantime, I hope you have a healthy and happy week. Thank you so much. Bye.